And here we are in Vale Falls proper. You know, where we can actually get places. Important places. But of course, these jerks are still following us around, so I guess this heart piece is for compensation, but seriously, I wish these guys would leave me alone. Anyway, thankfully he didn't quite get in the way. Yeah, the waterfall isn't really what I'm paying attention to right now, but it is important because remember, we have to stop the source of the flow, and this wall is literally named the source of the flow, so there's not really a puzzle here. It more or less out and out tells us where we need to go and what we needed to use that Kinstone piece for, rather. Maybe not behind the falls per se, but hey, this is the way to go, so it's a good starting point. And of course we're going to need our lanterns starting off, especially with all these cracks everywhere here. So don't stand around. Of course, I don't think any of these enemies would really consider to do that too much. See? Just a bunch of geese. Nothing too bad. Ooh, and do I? Yes, I do. So, the magical boomerang is going to get use here, because it can actually destroy those guys. And thank goodness for that. Actually, it can really help with a few other things, but of course, first things first, gotta bomb this wall. Let's see, I've complained about 50 mysterious shells before because, quite frankly, that really isn't that much by this point. Unless you haven't been doing it. Though to be fair, if you haven't been doing the figurine stuff, you've probably got max shells by this point, meaning you're probably not going to want to do the shell thing at all. Just because, yeah, if you're at this point and you haven't really done anything with it, don't even bother. Like, it's gonna be too tedious any other point. Ah, well, just gonna take care of a very minor puzzle here. See? Very minor. So, what is out here? It's just a small little treasure. So we get 100 mysterious shells. Decent enough, I suppose. I've seen better, but then again, I've seen much worse. So, I guess this is sort of a puzzle right here. More of a puzzle than the first pass through this room, I suppose. But then again, I mean, there's no way out, and unless you think very poorly of Capcom, you'd probably hazard a guess and think, there's no way they would trap you in this room. If this were possible, or impossible rather, they would have noticed. So yeah, you just have to push a couple more blocks before pushing the big block, but hey, it's something. So this is the actual exit to this little cave here. And, ooh, I believe that's actually the first time we get introduced to rock shoes. And I think they're actually a bit difficult if you don't have Rock Breaker. I've never not had it by this point, but I'd imagine if you don't have Rock Breaker, you can't simply just crack their heads open. Otherwise, that'd be a bit of a redundant shoe, you know? Doesn't really feel like it'd have a point otherwise. And please go away. Thank you, P-Hat. I don't think there's anything worth digging up here, but might as well, actually, 50 rupees is decent, I suppose. I mean, we're not quite at max money yet, so I guess we could have used a little more, but, you know, it's something at least. Oh, and look at that wind crest. That'll definitely be useful, because we're kind of midway through the mountain. There's a bit above us and a bit below us, so this is the perfect spot to do this. And if I'm correct, there's actually only one more wind crest in the game, so we're almost done with our quick travel points. That's kind of weird to think of it like that, but we are actually approaching the end of the game. Just going to throw that out there. And speaking of throwing out there, P-Hats, I still don't appreciate you. I don't know why you're still following me. I've done nothing but complain about you, and yet here you are harassing me more. Oh, P-Hats, will they ever not be annoying? I mean, I guess they weren't that bad in Ocarina of Time, but I'd imagine they scared most kids when they saw them at first, because despite looking like just weird, non-specific things, I think that P-Hats could be kind of terrifying. I think they kind of freaked me out when I was a kid. I didn't really play Ocarina of Time in my childhood, so I can't say that for certain. But I'm pretty sure most people do say that they did not care for those things when they first saw them. In fairness, it does make sense. You're just, you know, exploring Hyrule Field, having a good old time. You're wondering, oh, what's that thing? I mean, it's close to the forest, so it can't be that dangerous. Oh, it's a big old thing that shows me it's Utsumo Whatsits. I don't like that. Also, speaking of not liking things, likes, you're not even trying to hide. Though to be fair, it's better like that. They are better than the actual likes, you know, the shield-stealing ones, rather than the rupee likes, which I always forget the names of, and you'd think there'd be something over here, and I think there is, but it requires Kinstone Fusion. Otherwise, that area would just be pretty useless, and I don't really know why that would be there otherwise. And I think I just said otherwise a whole lot. Department of Redundancy Department. Right. Oh yeah, and also, I don't know why this area has two entrances either. There's the staircase and there's the ladder, and there's absolutely no point. I mean, I guess I took the scenic view, and for that, I'm glad. Scenic view's always nice, but what's the point? And let me guess, red Kinstone piece. No, I was wrong, it was rupees. And I just said earlier I'm not at max money, and yet here I am, almost maxed out. Seriously, I've got so many of these damn rupees for crying out. Bark, bark, bark. Did you say that mysterious moving thing that might look like a mountain except it's moving so it can't be a mountain? Ah well, can't be important. Now what is important is this big old tornado. Dead end, Eslo, you really need to learn what a dead end actually is. See? Bit of ingenuity, and that wasn't a dead end at all. I was thinking progress, and I was right. We could be dead, but we're not. I mean, come on, look at how many hearts I have. Do you really think a simple tornado could have taken all of those away? So indeed, we are on the cloud tops, and this little guy should be familiar. We've seen him before. This is one of the mysterious travelers we've talked to in the past. And they are the very same, not just an identical sprite or anything. Well, if he wants to fuse a Kinstone, then fuse Kinstones I will. If you could stop talking. Yeah, I'm strong, now let me fuse Kinstones. Come on, look, I'm over 50, we can do this. I need Kinstone Fusions, I'm so close, damn it. Oh, actually, this... Okay, so her name is Hailey, so I guess she's a girl then? Is that it? I thought that she was that older lady's brother, but no, apparently I was wrong. She's Hailey. Ah well, anyway, that's a gold Tektite, which is super fast and probably one of the worst golden enemies just because they're so erratic, jump around everywhere, and are not fun to deal with at all. Oh wow, yeah, look at that, it's a gold Kinstone piece. Means it's plot important. Oh, yeah, actually, now that you mention it, we are walking on clouds, and I guess technically speaking, this is quite the feat. Yep, marvel of mankind. Now, let's go fuse some Kinstones. I mean, it's not going to help their plights. There are Kinstone Fusions to be done, but this is important first. Then we'll get into the, truly important Kinstone Fusions. What? I didn't hear anything. This is the most important thing to do. And I was right. There's a passage there. But we probably won't be doing that just yet. Because, see those clouds? Yep, we gotta fuse Kinstones with the clouds themselves. So, cloud tops. I kinda love this area. I'll admit, I get lost here on almost every visit I get. Because you're supposed to collect these Kinstones, then go down here and fuse with the clouds. Also, cloud piranhas. Yep, those are enemies. I love that enemy design. Just cloud piranhas. Why? Why not? But, of course, there are just so many reasons why I love this area. I mean, it's kind of a mini dungeon in itself just because we're looking for keys and we're looking for the locks they go to. It's just non-standard locks and keys. So, once we fuse with this mysterious cloud, this of course is not the end. There are multiple ones of these, 5 in fact, because they activate the pinwheels which we need to move on. So it's a neat little mini dungeon, not too difficult, and as long as you do everything correctly, it's pretty linear, so, I mean, I did say I get lost, but that's my own fault. But of course, this is a damn cool looking area. Like, the sky area in this game looks fantastic. It's got great backgrounds. I love the tile sets they use for these. They're unique and they're interesting looking. And, of course, the music's also good, because this is a really good remix of the main theme, which, given this isn't like Super Mario World or anything where every song's a remix of the main theme, the fact that it comes up here near the end of the game, especially when we're climbing to the top of the sky, that's damn cool. I love it so much. It's the perfect timing for that sort of thing. It also helps that it's a damn good remix as well. It's just such a good song to listen to. I'm sure that this area is probably not everyone's cup of tea, and I can sort of see that. Although, future areas, not really future, but coming up soon areas, hopefully those will change your mind if you're not a fan of this one. Of course, another thing, I do love that it gives you more use for the moments. I mean, it is the same use as it's always been. I've mentioned it before, but yeah, moments never really get much of a differing use. It's always just digging through mostly the same things, but nonetheless, it's nice to see them get used a bit. Oh boy, 50 mysterious shells. Let me guess, 50 rupees over here. Oh, no. So we got 100 mysterious shells overall. It's still decent enough. You know, it'll take 2 figurine purchases to burn through those. Ah well. So, continuing on, you know, I forget where I always get lost. I'm gonna guess it's an area I don't usually go Oh, actually, that's a Lakitu. Like, literally a Lakitu. That's what it's called. They actually use the Mario enemies here. And no, this isn't Link's Awakening. This is still the game that is, spoilers, not a dream. So yeah, they're just casually Lakitus in this game. And the nice thing about Lakitus is there are multiple ways of dealing with them, because I use the boomerang because it doesn't waste any sort of ammo. But of course, since the boomerang is an optional item, you can opt to use arrows instead. There are usually a fair number of ways of dealing with enemies in this game. If Swift Blade's magazine has been any indication, it's just, usually it's pretty straightforward and you only use one method anyway, but hey, from time to time you learn something new. Okay, I think maybe this is the area I miss all the time. I could say that about just any area here, because I don't remember what it is. I just remember that once I find what I'm missing, then yeah, it always seems a bit silly that I missed it. Still though, as I said before, it's pretty linear. You shouldn't get lost too much. That's just me. It's just me being dumb and missing. Oh! Oh my god. That poor Cloud Piranha. He had so much to live for, like being murdered by me. Oh shit! Lakitu, are you trying to smite me? Ah well, that's a slow-moving projectile, so honestly, I would hazard a guess and say you're probably not going to have too much trouble with Lakitu. He's not hard to dispatch at all, and even if he does get an attack off, you can take care of him. Though I think I do prefer the boomerang for those guys, just because boomerang just takes care of them pretty quickly. You have to waste multiple arrows to take them down, and the fact that you stun them with a boomerang is just so very helpful. Okay, I think, and I'm pretty positive this time, that actually no, that's like right in the way of things, but I might always think that that's the way forward, and then I skip past that and don't do it? Man, I cannot forget how I botch this all the time. I can't believe myself enough. There are these bubbly clouds here, so I'm gonna guess that this is an enemy kill. Can't really call this a room, per se. I mean, we're kind of in the sky. Can you really have rooms in the sky, or rooms made of sky? Doesn't seem like a thing that happens. Okay, there's nothing off this way, so this is definitely the way we need to go. Right? So, actually, how many pinwheels? Oh, a gold Kinstone piece anyway. That was 50 shells. So yeah, if you've been low on mysterious shells, well, there you go. Also, if I suddenly stop... Oh, red Kinstone piece. If I suddenly stop talking, it's because I need to sneeze. It's one of those sneezes. Oh, that... Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what I miss all the time. I know I keep saying that and I'm wrong every time, but still, bear with me. I'm trying to remember how I screwed up, or usually screw up. Because, to be fair, there's so many places I could. It's me we're talking about. But I don't believe I screwed this one up this time. Right, I wouldn't leave that in the recording. When have I ever left anything I didn't really care for in these recordings? Not once in this entire playthrough. Also, these are some weird-looking Kinstone pieces. I mean, they all have to be different, so you tackle this in a specific order, but still. Kinstone's got some weird teeth, I gotta say. So, one more pinwheel left. And, of course, I'm sure we all know where the final one is. I mean, you do remember that we started right next to one, right? At least that's one I never miss. At least I don't remember myself missing it. Although maybe I have gotten lost trying to find it again. Because, you know, I could very well forget where I actually came from in this area. That, I would not put that past me, personally. And drop right down. Almost missed that. But I made a cool landing, and... Don't worry, guys. Now you can go home. So, have they just been waiting around here for the entire game? Because the Picori Festival has been over for quite a while now. Have they been standing here, or have they been hanging out? Because I haven't seen them around town. I mean, there is a man of similar garb living in Hyrule Town, but he is living there. He's not just visiting, as far as I can tell. And speaking of that man, if you haven't done the Kinstone quest, you're going to want to do it right before... this. So yes, from what I have learned, or what I have read, it seems that this is the cutoff point for that Kinstone Fusion actually being useful, because, indeed, we have entered this house, and it should look very familiar because, thanks to that teleporter we got quite a while back, we have visited this place before. And I believe this is actually the guy we fused with earlier. So he discovered that weird-looking teleporter, which looks like a fused Kinstone. Oh, whoops. Actually, no, I can take advantage of this. I mean, now that we're in South Hyrule Field, you know, I mean, since we're on the ground again, there's something else important we can spend our copious amounts of cash on. Oh, and also, I'd just like to point out, people have changed locations, just, FYI, in case you want to fuse some Kinstones, there are a few more people lying here and there. Just thought I'd point that out, but I'm not going to get too Kinstone heavy here. Just going to go over and do the important thing. Hard to believe it, but after this issue, there are only 2 more Swordsman Newsletters. It's actually kind of distressing. We're almost done with these things. Yeah, I have, and it's grabbed me before Swiftblade. Well, I already know that, because I guessed it, but, you know, that'd still be good advice if I hadn't. And I like that sound effect, so I'm down with that, I'm down. Ah, Floor Masters, screw those guys. They're pals, and I hate them when they invite each other over for, tea. Yeah, it really sucks, doesn't it? Ah, those guys, don't even get me started on them. Well, I'm greedy, but, on the other hand, I haven't really gotten anything stolen from me. And yeah, I believe I mentioned this before, but red rupee likes take 20 rupees at a time. Yep, gonna purchase the penultimate issue of this, though. That seems weird. Seems like only yesterday we started buying these things. I wonder why Swiftblade Newsletter never persisted in later Zelda games. I mean, this is only the second game on the timeline. They really should have had the Swordsman Newsletter in Ocarina of Time. Just Capcom should have gone back in time and convinced Nintendo to include that in their game. And all subsequent games. Certainly would have made Twilight Princess better. Yeah, I would have loved it if that game had a Swordsman Newsletter. Then again, they'd probably be just as dull as, you know, the rest of the aesthetics of that game, so maybe it's better off that it wasn't in that. Anyway, we're not going to go rush to read the next issue. We want to space them out. Instead, why don't we explore here, because we weren't really allowed to do that on our first pass in here. But hey, look at that! Ruggles is now A-OK, but before we talk to him, fusion time. But yes, thanks to our intervention earlier on in the game, when we used our good old Ouija tactics to rid ourselves of that ghost, you know, the old Ouija tax as the kids would say, got rid of that ghost and now Ruggles A-OK. But if you got to the point, or this point in the game rather, apparently he would be dead and he wouldn't give you these light arrows. So these are optional items, and I just love this man because he's just constantly exercising. Look at him go. That is why he's one of my favorite NPCs, but I've never seen him die, because I've always made sure to grab that Kinstone Fusion and then save him. But apparently he is dead and he can't get light arrows, so they are missable. Also, good thing to note about these guys, they pretty much all have fusions. In fact, if they don't have one Kinstone Fusion, they have two. I think Ruggles the only exception, but he's too busy exercising to fuse Kinstones. Besides, what's he need good luck for? We saved his life from a ghost. Yeah, that's because a snake appeared on the earth, so it's not really good luck for you. Oh boy, a Kinstone piece. Oh boy, a Kinstone piece. Oh boy, a Kinstone piece. Well, I just robbed these people of things I don't even want, but I'll keep them anyway, because it's not like I can return them. And this guy bars our way because there is a plot important person we need to speak to. So I'm just gonna break more of their bases in case they have anything valuable. They don't, so please fuse with me more, since I'm just so disappointed by the fact that those phases didn't even have anything. You know, I am broken like these Kinstone pieces were, but now I am whole now that they are fused. Well, that tree's up, but what does that really do for us now? There didn't really seem to be a treasure over there. Ah, well. So, back upstairs, and oh boy, a heart. I didn't even need that. Ooh. Still need these, though. Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to have more Kinstone pieces. I mean green Kinstone pieces, not red. I said not red. Ugh, game's just making fun of me now. Alright, before I even ask you your name, I'm gonna fuse Kinstones with you. I mean, I can see your name just by fusing with you, so it doesn't matter too much, but still. Oh, no, it definitely can't be. Yeah, it's just a chest. But I think there is something I'm thinking of around that graveyard area. Alright, anyway, let's actually talk to you this time. Yeah, that place sucks anyway, so I can see why you did that. It's much nicer up here in the skies. Also, I just said a dungeon that I actually like sucks, but to be fair, it is a good dungeon. Probably not a very habitable place, though. It doesn't really seem like it'd be a very good place to live in. Well, this is a nice little tower house up in the sky. Not exactly sure I'd like to live up in the sky, though. It's rather high up, and I'm a little bit afraid of heights. I mean, I'm not that... I haven't been around them enough to know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm not fond of them. Falling to my death, not something I care for. Yeah, well, I'm going to explore it and get everything good before you do, so there. But since he's not going to get any bigger all that quickly, I might as well go up and down the stairs, because, you have another fusion. Yeah, that's right, I knew about that. You're gonna fuse with me a second time, so there. Surok 2, what you got for me? Oh, treasure all the way over here. Guess we'll be going to the graveyard later for both those treasures. Well, I guess it's good that they were both on the same person then. But here we are on this nice peaceful rooftop. But won't be peaceful for long, because next time, on The Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, we go find the final elements in the Palace of the Sky.